Hi, welcome to the second video of our Takeoff Program Data training. In this video, I will be specifically focusing on teaching you guys how to assign project details to the data already gathered from the server and populating it into your personal UD window for your project. Okay, so let's begin. Okay, so right now you should have your UD window open. Alright, so in our UD window, again, this portion right here is called detail. You can see it over in the upper left right here. So again, the detail portion has detail numbers, reference detail, Revit resource, which is just your Revit family name, and then description. So this first portion of the video, we're going to show you how to assign project details, mainly right here, to your correlating families. So again, for this exercise, you're going to need the Bluebeam session for vans open. So let's bring over your Bluebeam session. You should have it open. If you don't, then just pause the video here and then have it and open it for this exercise. So once you have the shop drawings open, if you look at the details, just any of them for explanation, you can kind of see here underneath the detail bubble, these are the Revit family name. Alright, some of them don't have it, but most of them do. Alright, so this is how you link your details to your Revit family. So let's do a few together, and then we can pause and we can finish it off on our own. Alright, so let's go down the list. Let's sort it out by Revit resource or Revit family. So from the top, let's start with this one first. DRS W75 4113 001. So in your Bluebeam session, you can do Control F, or you can hit this search button right here and just search for the family that we're trying to find. So caps matter when you're searching in Bluebeam. So you don't necessarily have to search for the whole string of text. You can kind of just search for a portion of it. So this one. So we know that the left door jamb with this family right here is detail 1 on 653. So let's minimize this. Over here. 1.653. And that's 1. So once you get that done, get that detail ready, just hit apply. So that takes care of your your door jamb. Let's go down the list on this one. So let's do a few more. For the sill, this is the sill track. Open up your Bluebeam. Yes. 75. 1.6. -001. Okay, you have a few. Take a look at this one. This is your first occurrence of that family. Let's look at a few other ones as well. Here goes your other one. And this one. So you may wonder, which one do you choose at this point? I usually like to put the first occurrence of it, so I will assign 1 on 505 as part of this family. So let's bring that up. So 1 on 505. And then an extra note, you may want to see like your 1 on 505 actually has 2 families, right? You have the sill track and then you have your sill. right? So in this instance, I would actually set my 2 occurrences, right? So I would actually do 1 on 505 for the SIL, and then for the SIL track, I would put a semicolon F. So let me show you. So this is the SIL track. F for the SIL track, and for the SIL, it would be 505. Now you may wonder what the F stands for. The F just stands for field use. SIL tracks are usually a field use item. You can see here in the part use where it says field use. And this is the SIL member is usually part of the unit. Okay, once that's done, let's just do the horizontal together. So let's do this one right here, 2126001P. So let's just search for 2126. Perfect. One result. It's right here. So it's 1 on 502. Hit apply. Remember to always hit apply. So once that's done, let's move on to the vertical. So this one, let's particularly do the female and male, just your intermediate vertical. Let's do the 5262001. Looks like this one. So here you have 651, 2 on 651. So you may know that, when you have a male vertical, there's always going to be like a female vertical to join them together to make the actual mullion. So with that said, you can actually assign both the female and the male. Right? So you can look at the family here. It's your standard male vertical family and your standard female vertical family. So again, 2 on 651. So now you may wonder if it lands for both, how do you distinguish both of them, right? So let me show you. If you were to try to put 2 of the same detail, it will error out. You see how it has this red exclamation mark? The program doesn't like that. So to distinguish the both, just put a semicolon right next to it. So how we like to do it in the takeoff group is, when you stare at a unit, the right side of the unit is typically your male vertical, right? So in this case, your male vertical is a W755262. So right side of the unit, so semicolon R for right side. And then for the left side, you get it, it will be left. Okay. So with that said, you should have a general idea of how to fill out the detail numbers for the existing data that was grabbed from the server. So let's pause the video here so you can fill out the rest of the data or the detail, and then we can meet after to see how you guys do. Okay, welcome back. Hopefully that didn't take you too long to fill out the detail portion of the data. As you can see, I went ahead and filled it out myself as well. So as a comparison, you can kind of just compare it to the one I have right here and see how well you guys did. Again, some of these are very subjective. Say for instance, you have your stack SIL, and then you have a stack head belonging in the same detail. We usually put B for bottom of the unit, right, for the SIL, and then T for the top. So, but however you guys want to put it, it probably would be okay. But if you guys want to change it back to how we would normally do it in the takeoff, that's okay too. So why don't you go ahead and just check your work based on this video. I'll leave the screen here for a sec. You can pause it here if you want. And I'll scroll down here. You can pause the video just to check the bottom one as well. Okay, once you have made your updates to the detail number portion of the this video, we're going to go over now to the reference detail portion. So again, reference detail is really just pointing to the detail that you want to reference to, right? Say for instance, you have your horizontal with an SRT clip, and then the only thing that's different is, the SRT. You may want to point it back to the regular horizontal or whatnot. So you can kind of see here you have a few families that already have these reference detail pointed out. So you can kind of go ahead and just set this one. So this one is your regular left door jamb, right? You can kind of see how it's pointing to this family right here, which is the SW754113-001. So scroll down and see what that is. So that is your typical captured left jamb. So you may wonder why, like, oh, why are we pointing this door family to the regular family? Well, that's probably because, your door fab, the only thing different is your fabrication on the door. So if you take a look at the shop drawing, let's pull up that door family. So you can kind of see here, let's pull up a regular jamb on the split screen to compare them. Here's your left jamb on the right, and here's your left door jamb on the left. So you can see here, it's the same mullion, granted with different fabrication, right? And then different part right here, which is your pocket filler. So which is why we can kind of point to the main vertical. Now you don't have to necessarily reference it, but sometimes it's, it's really entirely up to you. But since for the sake of this explanation, let's point to the typical family. So right here, you can kind of change this, same as your detail. So you just have to look for the family here, which is 4113001PL. Look at the detail it's pointing to, 651. So 51. All right, let's do these two as well. So you can kind of see how this one is the door adjacent family. So let's look into that. So here's your door adjacent family, and it's pointing to, let's see which family it's pointing to. It's pointing to the SW755262-002. So right here. So let's see what this family looks like. We're going to keep the left side open, and your right side we're going to search for the new family. So here you go. So you can see how we're strictly talking about the male vertical here. So if you look at the male vertical for the typical family here on the right, if you compare it to the one that mates with the door, it's the same, right? And the reason why we have these door adjacent family is because we sometimes for a horizontal we have different kind of adjustments that you'll find out later when coming to a door, right? You may have a captured face stop running to, instead of the center or the daylight, you'll have it run to the side of the door, right? So it's correct to assume that this DAS family can safely point to this family. And while we're here, you can probably safely assume that this family as well, this DASW755263, which is the female version of the door adjacent family, can be pointed back to the typical female family right here. So let's go ahead and do that. So W7552622002 is 2 on 551 semicolon R. Then this one is the 5263002, so this one is the 2 on 551L. So after you hit apply, you should have successfully assigned all the details to the correlating family that's brought in from the server. You've also successfully referenced the correct details or the families back to the correlating family that's supposed to be referencing to as well. Okay, so let's stop here for this portion of the training. In the next video, we'll still be continuing on to explain the UD Windows detail portion. So we're going to be specifically focusing on how we would add onto this list. Either you can add it from scratch, or we can add onto this list by copying an existing detail. Okay.